In today's video, 5 tips to help you bulk up fast.
By myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Rebella from physique.com. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 specific things that are going to help you bulk up fast. And this is the time of year when a lot of people are looking at losing weight. But guess what? I was once very, very skinny. And I'll post up some pictures and I'll share my story here a little bit. But I want to go over some of the things that I think that'll help you build some muscle, put on some bulk, and get bigger quicker so you can avoid some of the mistakes that I made going through this process. All right guys, sorry for the interruption, but one thing I wanted to mention in the video, and I forgot to, was that I have a free training guide for beginners. I realize, not everybody has the luxury of a coach. So what we did was we created a free program that kind of gives you just the basics of how to find a gym, a basic workout program, some basics on nutrition to just get started. So if you're interested in that, email training@prophysique.com and in the subject line, put free training guide. I'll also put it in the description box below. Thank you guys, back to the video. Going through this process myself is you have to pay attention to your eating. I think early on, I was under the assumption that because I ate a lot of food when I ate, that I ate a lot. But I used to say things like, but I can never gain weight, but I eat everything. But had I gone back and looked at what I was actually eating, yes, I was eating some very large meals once or twice a day and probably snacking a little bit, but I was not keeping up with my caloric demands. So you need to have a little bit of accountability. That's the first step. The first step is just have some accountability. Doesn't mean you need to eat everything exactly right each day, no, but we need to make sure that we're actually taking in enough calories to meet the demands that our bodies are about to be placed under. Because for you to bulk up in a quick manner, it's going to have to be with a caloric surplus in place, no doubt. So step 1 is start tracking and be aware of what your caloric intake is going to be. One of the hardest parts about getting enough calories, and typically if you're someone that is worried about bulking up fast, it's probably an issue. For me, it was an issue. I was inherently very, very thin growing up, but I was also very, very active, and I probably underate most of the time, as I said. So what enabled me to make that shift? Well, for myself, it was at a time when I discovered supplementation with things like mass gainers. When I was younger, in the 90s, mass gainers became very popular. So I would go out and purchase something. Probably wasn't the greatest product at the time, but it would enable me to get an easy 500 to 1,000 calories in a single sitting without a lot of thought to it, right? I could just put milk in it, put some ice cream in it, and have it. If step 1 is going to be just getting consistent and being aware of what you're taking in on a daily basis, step 2 is going to be involving some easy to absorb, easy to eat, easy to travel with food sources like shakes. Protein shakes, when I was growing up, it was Lean Body. Now I use my core supplements when I travel if I need something. Another big thing that I like to do is take beef jerky with me everywhere. Beef jerky is great. I like Quest bars. Things that are just easy to have on hand that are like high in protein and going to be good for just being consistent with eating. The hardest part for me growing up was just constantly having to eat. My third thing is still going to be related to diet, and then we'll get into some training stuff. My third thing is going to be avoid foods that make you feel bloated. I think I didn't realize at times that I would avoid eating because I ate something that kind of made me feel sick to my stomach. I later realized that I'm a little bit sensitive to lactose, so I can't overdo it when it comes to things like milk and ice cream and things like that. So if you find yourself eating something and you don't digest it well and you feel gassy and bloated, that's a hint. If you have a lot of gas and a lot of bloat, that's a sign that you need to change what you're eating. So start paying attention. Avoid things that cause bloating, because it's not only what you eat, it's what your body can absorb. And if you're eating things that your body's not absorbing, if you constantly gas, if you constantly have digestive issues, then you're not actually getting the bang for the buck. You're not actually getting the benefit of taking those nutrients in, because your body is not absorbing them properly, right? It's flushing the system to keep you digesting well. So start paying attention to food sources that work well with your body, okay? Sometimes it might be foods that you enjoy that you have to cut out. Like I said, with me, I no longer eat a ton of cheese. I no longer have a bunch of milk. I am able to use a product called Lactaid, which helps me. But I'm also 43 years old. When I was younger, I didn't have the issue. So sometimes these digestive issues are things that you develop over the course of your life. So tip 3, avoid things that cause bloating, okay? If that means sometimes you're taking in too much fiber, some of the more common issues that we find are going to be related to gluten and lactose, okay? So look at those, and sometimes if you just eliminate one of those, then you'll find that you digest better and you can move on. The 4th tip for me for bulking fast was probably the hardest thing for me to overcome, and that was I had to stop always running. I was constantly on the go. I would wake up, go for runs, I would go play basketball. I was constantly on the move. When my mind shifted to bodybuilding, when I said, you know what, I want to weigh 200 pounds. I want to weigh over 200 pounds. And this was back when I was 160, 170 pounds. My goal was to get to 200. I now walk around at about 220 pounds. But in my teens, it was so difficult for me. But looking back, I was just obsessed with constantly being on the move. I would get up in the morning and just be on the go. I played college baseball, I played basketball in tournaments, I played volleyball in tournaments. I was constantly playing sports. Now, if that's not something you're ready to get rid of, just pay attention to your caloric needs and understand that when you're that active, your calories are going to need to be that much higher. The second that I stopped playing pickup basketball every single day, my strength and performance went up in the gym, my recovery improved, and lo and behold, the scale started going up, okay? So my number 4 tip for bulking fast is don't be like me, always running. Now the 5th and final tip for bulking fast is probably the most difficult because it's not inherent. And that is that we need to learn to train and train properly. So the 3 things that make up proper training are going to be intensity, form, and frequency. Okay, so if you want to bulk up fast, you need to have a plan. You need to be training. Now, for beginners, we're going to see rapid muscle gain. Why? Well, because we call those the noob gains. Our body is just going to adapt quickly. Over time, though, that's going to slow down. So we need to understand the importance of frequency and intensity with each time we train. But if you're doing lat pull downs and you're only hitting your biceps, well, your back is not going to grow. Let's say we're doing a lift. If we do a dumbbell curl, this is the concentric portion of the lift. We have the muscle contracted, okay? If we hold the weight here, that's the static. And if we do the eccentric or the way down, that is called the negative. Those are the 3 phases of the lift. The phase that is the weakest is the concentric. This is the weakest part of the lift, contracting. The static is the strongest part of the lift. This is where we have the most power. The negative or eccentric is the second most powerful. So if you want to know if you're targeting a muscle group and you're feeling it in the right areas, what I suggest you do is some static holds. One way to know for sure if you're doing a lat pull down right is to pull the weight down and hold it there. And you can adjust the way that your elbows, your shoulders are all positioned and make sure you feel it in your back before doing the eccentric, okay? That's one great way to focus on your training. So make sure your form is right. Make sure you're training with enough frequency. I suggest training each body part every 5th or 6th day, roughly. Sometimes we can do it more frequently than that. Sometimes we can do it less based on where we're at. And make sure you're actually training the muscle you want to train, okay? Make sure the intensity is good. You should be getting sore from workouts, okay? This is how we bulk fast. We eat, we stop doing all the running, and we train with intensity, and we repeat that. And make sure you're getting enough sleep, okay? Your lifestyle has to be conducive to bodybuilding and recovery. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you'd be interested, I'm considering doing a 2019 bulking plan because I just got done dieting for an entire year. So for 2019, I am going to be bulking, getting the biggest and strongest I have ever been without getting the fattest. So if you guys would be interested in a video like that, let me know. I will, I'll post that up pretty soon with very specific plans for what I'm gonna take regarding supplements, regarding training, regarding weight gain, what I wanna see. And if you're interested in any of the core supplements, I'll put the discount code in the description box below. But mostly guys, have an awesome Saturday and an awesome 2019.